Well, it's February 28th here in southern Ontario. I hope that phone doesn't flip around on me. Join me as I have a wee beer break here while I'm plowing snow. Now, before I get into the Pierre Poilievre thing here, I just want to point out it's not mandatory that you sip a beer when you're plowing snow any more than it's mandatory that, you have a beer when you're cutting firewood here in Canada. But if you don't, people look at you funny, like maybe you're the type of guy who takes your kids to story time with drag queens. Cheers. Now, if you're new to the channel, please don't give me the flack about, oh, I must be disappointed Poilievre's not the white knight on the white horse that's going to save everybody. I've made numerous videos about Poilievre. I think he's an intelligent man. I delight in his wordsmithery. The matching of verbal rapiers with Trudeau. Trudeau's an intellectual lightweight. The only way... I guess there's a lot of people out there who aren't really smart, listen to Trudeau's speeches and press announcements and stuff. He's got the cadence, the inflection, and all that stuff down, but if you're any smarter than a turnip and actually listen to what he's saying, he's no comparison with pollivare. However, I see in the comments, and I don't just mean my comments, because I've been watching a lot of other channels, I still can't get my head around Poilievre's moves here. But anyways, a lot of the comments, people say, well, he's trying to win over some liberal votes. I don't put any credence in that theory. Anybody who's going to vote liberal at this point in time is either as stupid as a turnip or totally uninformed, like living in a vacuum, or perhaps just arrived here, maybe even from a different time-space continuum. But whatever reason, they think they're voting liberal. They're not. They're voting for the regime of Trudeau. Again, stupidity, ignorance, and the time-space continuum thing, I guess. But anyways, you're not going to sway those voters at this point in time, whatever ails them. Poilievre slagging Christine Anderson isn't going to win any votes there. Those people don't even know who Christine Anderson is, right? So I don't put any stock in that theory. I just can't get my head around the whole thing. What percentage did he think there would be in this? Seems to be generally accepted. Everybody else accepts that he said it. And apparently, he admonished, what's her name, Dr. Leslyn Lewis, and those other two conservative politicians who had a sit-down dinner or whatever, chat with Christine Anderson. I don't know. I don't see Leslyn Lewis doing that, folding like that. Although maybe she did, I don't know. I haven't had time. I'm out of data. Out of high-speed data, so I don't know whether she did or did not retract that. But I still can't get my head around it. I just don't see the percentages. Now, to harken back, in case you're new to all this or outside of the country, in the snap election in 2021, Poilievre didn't run, nor did he in 2019. Both times he would have been a shoo-in. I've said this in numerous videos. That's one of the reasons that I've always been suspect of Poilievre. It was handed to him on a silver platter and he declined it. So, anyways, in the snap election, O'Toole was head of the Conservative Party, federal party. Now, people wanted rid of Trudeau so bad in 2021, O'Toole could have said, well, I'm going to Epstein Island for the 36 days before you vote in the snap election, and I'll be back and be prime minister then. Instead, he ran around doing his political thing, and 2 weeks before the election, he was out in Vancouver, and he admitted that, he would stick with the mandates, and yes, he would disarm the populace. And I wasn't the only one who was watching that going, what? You just blew it. You just handed it to the liberals on a platter. Would they hold a gun to your kid's head? Did they pay you off, O'Toole? What happened there? So, if there was any pending election perhaps coming, and seeing Poilievre shoot himself in the foot like this, again, he's not going to win any liberal votes, and he sure blew a lot of conservative ones, then one might suspect he pulled an O'Toole move. But there's no election pending. I don't think there's ever going to be. Certainly not before 2025. Trudeau's got it all. The supply and confidence agreement literally gives him a dictatorship. And Poilievre still hasn't really commented big time on all this, and I don't know. Still can't get my head around the whole thing. But anyways, cheers from Canada. I don't know. Can't figure it out myself. This one's got me buffaloed.